So welcome back to another edition of, I'm going to call this the Business Freedom Podcast, and I'm going live here. I want to talk today about the reality that your coach could be holding you back. And this is probably going to ruffle a few feathers because nobody really wants to think that their coach could be the reason that they're not achieving what they want to achieve. And this episode was inspired by a post that I saw in a Facebook group. But this Facebook group has like a gazillion members. And every once in a while, seems like every month or two, someone will post in the group like, hey, who's the best real estate coach? ? And it's this open-ended, they give no context to what they need. And typically I'll get tagged into one of these threads, and I'll get some kind words, and I don't say that from an ego standpoint. And I know that what Real Estate B School, like what we do, what I train on and what we coach on, is really a whole lot different than what other coaching organizations that are world-class coaching organizations train on and coach on. And here's what I mean with the title of today's episode is that you may be with a coach that hasn't done the thing you want to do. And so let me say that again, or let me ask it to you in a question. Is the person you're taking advice, guidance, mentorship from the person that has been down the path you want to go down? And it's easy to say, so if you're a coach and you haven't done a thing that you're attempting to coach people on, as that type of coach, do as I say, not as I've done. As that type of coach would tell you that they don't need to have done the thing you want to do to help you get there. And I know you can give me dozens of examples in sports and other maybe industries even where that works. In business, it does not translate. So in order to move from a top producing agent to a sales leader, to a world-class manager, to a visionary leader, to a business owner, right? That is the transition, the transformation that many real estate agents want. They want to know how to give up the grind of doing transactions. They just don't have a path to do it. When that type of person, or even someone that started a small real estate team, when that type of person is being coached by someone that hasn't built a sustainable and profitable real estate team at the highest level, and they've detached them from the business and they're now looking in and they're consulting and they're just an owner in the business, that coach doesn't have the perspective. They haven't, been bloodied in battle. They don't know what's going to happen when they give a piece of advice to one of their clients. And that's the reality of it, is that if your coach hasn't built a sustainable business with leverage, with systems, with tools, and they don't have those tools and systems to give you to make the road easier for you, assuming that's what you want to do. So assuming that you do want to build a real estate team that's profitable and sustainable, really check yourself on, who you're getting guidance and mentorship from. And let me say one more thing too. This goes for folks that you're just taking advice from, so if you're not getting coached, that's really bad. So if you want to do something, find a person that's done the thing you want to do, pay them to show you how to do it. It will cut 5-10 years off of your journey, and it'll keep $1 million in your bank account over 10 years. I promise you that it will. So it doesn't matter if I'm that guy or there's someone else out there. Find someone who's done what you want to do. And if they're teaching others how to do it, just pay them money. So that's the first part. You need a coach. If you're listening to this, you absolutely need a coach. Everyone needs a coach. I have multiple coaches in multiple areas of my life. I consider my pastor and my men's group leader to be spiritual coaches to me. I've got a C12 group that allows me to be grounded in my business and have that business serve in a way that I've just been learning, and they serve as mentors and coaches to me. I have a physical coach that I see every other week. Coaching, you've got to get coaching. The other part of this, though, is that there are so many real estate agents and team leaders taking advice from people, from team leaders that you have no idea if they're running the type of business that you want to run, right? I'm really open with what our business is and what I've achieved, and most importantly, over 12 years where I've failed in business, so that if you join our world, you know 100% what you're getting. It is an authentic, not perfect, and the shortest path that I know to business ownership and a profitable business. Some of these team leaders are running on very, very thin margins, and they're paying for the growth of their business. And you don't know how much of the percent of their GCI that they're spending on growing their business. And so I don't want to soapbox this thing again, because I just did a 4-part series on how to build a profitable real estate team. So I don't want to go back there.
You're already here.
Hold on a second. I got to kick you out. You just came on a live Facebook.
Oh, sorry. I'm going.
Yep. All right. So that was awesome. So that was a good example of a guy that I mentor. And he's just a good dude. He is he's in my men's group, and we have an accountability relationship. So yeah, that was awesome. So where's my train of thought? And I've got 4 minutes to wrap up. So that was a good reminder. So watch who you take advice from. Really, when you think about, having a coach that's done the thing that you want to do, and also don't follow someone or don't think someone has it all together when you don't know anything about their business, right? We look up to these guys that are selling 1,000 homes, and we don't realize that they're spending $150,000 a month on mass media, and they're not talking about their profits, right? And they have 50 team members. That's okay. If you want a business where it's really mass media driven, and you're spending a lot of money on forced registrations, and you're really interested in the top line growth, and there's a legitimate strategy, and you're okay with thinner margins, that's okay. Just know that that's what you're pursuing. If you want more of a tight-knit team that is really efficient in what they do, and they understand their economic model, just really have an eye for knowing who you're talking to. And I'm not the only guy in all the land that has figured out how to build a profitable real estate business that's systems driven. And at the same time, I don't think there are that many of them. And so that's pretty much all that I have for you today. So the message is this: it's, if you're not being coached, you have to be coached. That's number one. If your coach, number two is, if your coach hasn't done the thing that you want to do, really and truly look, where do you want to be in 2 to 3 years? If where you want to be in 2 to 3 years, your coach hasn't ever done that thing, I can't give you any other advice except to stop the relationship. And number three is, watch who you're taking advice from or who you're putting on a pedestal, because chances are they don't have as much of this world figured out as you think they do. So if this is sort of striking a chord with you, and even if it pisses you off because you love your coach, you've been with them for 7, 8, 10 years, and they're just the best thing in the world, and you look back on your 7, 8, 10 years, and your business is exactly where it was 6, 7 years ago, what are you doing? Like, are you just falling into a rut with that relationship, and they're allowing you to live in your comfort zone? Or is it time for you to step out of your comfort zone and take that next step in your business? For most top producers and small team leaders, the next step is to take that journey from top producer to sales leader, right? To world-class manager, to visionary leader, to ultimately owner and consultant of the business. That journey is possible. I have nothing to sell you except a 45-minute conversation with me. We've got our pilot program in full swing, where you could, if you're ready, you could work with me for 30 days. It's our pilot program. Just go to realestatebschool.com. Just fill out a business growth strategy session form, and you will talk to me for 45 minutes. All I need is a little bit of information on what you're doing. We really, for that program, we want you to be about 500,000 GCI and a small team. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.